The real primetime did not stop in 2005. It just changed platforms. While televised Star Trek was busy pivoting toward high-stakes serialized drama and character trauma, Star Trek Online was picking up the mission of the Wake Mantle. It is the only place left where the state of the galaxy actually matters more than just the feelings of the bridge crew. And if you ask me, Star Trek Online is actually the true successor to the Roddenberry and Braga eras. Full stop.
I do not understand why humans find your rambling to be content.
Hey guys, today we're doing a deep dive into why a video game is actually outwriting $100 million TV shows. I want to talk about the effort, specifically the effort to respect the world you are playing in and the rules that govern it.
The probability of a video game script exceeding the narrative density of a televised production is...
Shh, M5. Not now. I did not ask for calculation. I'm trying to build a point here. Well, actually, I was. If you saw my video on why I was wrong about the Enterprise, you know my stance. That show was a kind of a poison chalice. It was handed to Manicoto when it was too late, just as it was finally finding its footing. When it was cut, we lost the birth of Federation, the loss of the Romulan War. We also lost the protein-heavy storytelling that makes Trek, well, you know, Trek. But here's the thing. Star Trek Online is the antidote to that premature ending. It didn't just stay in the prime timeline because it was allowed to. It stayed there because the writers actually went through the effort of explaining things. They took the lore gap left by 2005 cancellation and the 2009 reboot, and they built a bridge. A sturdy, lore-heavy bridge that actually respects the rules of the universe.
Bridging narrative gaps between disjointed media formats is a primary function of interactive media, and it provides a cohesive experience for the consumer.
Right. But most of the time, games just do a best of tour. STO actually tried to fix the broken parts. They took the responsibility of being the current timeline seriously. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the trauma problem. Look, modern Trek is kind of obsessed with individual character trauma. Everyone has a secret, everyone is crying, and everyone is finding themselves. But 90s Trek, it was about the state of the galaxy. It was about galactic politics and the realities of space travel. Do they forget the character? Of course not. But we weren't trying to find ourselves. STO gets it. In the game, the Romulan Republic and the Klingon Empire are kind of treated as evolving characters. It feels like Deep Space Nine. We can see the Republic struggling to define itself after the loss of the homeworld. We see the Klingons dealing with the internal coups and the actual consequences of the honor code. It's not about one person's journey. It's about how civilization survived. And that's the bread and butter of the Roddenberry vision.
Sociological evolution within the Klingon Empire has historically relied on internal conflict, which serves to strengthen the leadership of the ruling High Council.
Exactly. It's about the world, not just the captain's diary. I want to see how Tal Shiar is sabotaging a peace treaty. That is actual engagement. That's the essence we have been missing in televised era. The biggest problem I had with the first J.J. Abrams movie was that Romulan supernova. It was real stupid. Honestly, you have a spacefaring nation that's been traveling faster than light for, I don't know, centuries. They are kind of a superpower. And yet, they kind of didn't notice that their own sun was going to blow up?
A star of that magnitude requires billions of years to reach a supernova state, which renders the timeline of the Romulan tragedy scientifically indefensible.
Oh, thank you, M5. For once we agree on something. It was lazy writing, but Star Trek Online actually went through the effort to fix it. In the Iconian arc, we found out it was not just Romulans being, I don't know, complete knuckleheads and morons. It was sabotage. It was an Iconian plot to erase their enemies. And the kicker? They actually tied it to Sela. Using a legacy character like Sela to explain that her own arrogance caused the chain of the events that destroyed her homeworld? That's brilliant. It actually adds context, and it makes a stupid movie moment make sense in prime timeline. Writers in Star Trek Online have a fraction of the real estate of a TV show, yet they somehow managed to stay truer to the universe than the actual big budget guys. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything Star Trek Online does is amazing. Let me give you an example. Ja'ula's arc. That arc really rubbed me the wrong way. They tried to merge the Discovery world into the Star Trek Online, and the writing was just not good. And the problem was honestly Ja'ula herself. She was written like a Discovery main character. You know, that means that she was all-knowing, all-seeing, and somehow absolutely right about everything. There was no humility. I want you to contrast that with characters like, I don't know, Kira Nerys or B'Elanna Torres. Kira was messy. She was wrong. She had to grow from time in her resistance into a leader. B'Elanna had to deal with her temper and her heritage. They were allowed to be, well, for the lack of a better word, human. And they were allowed to be wrong. Ja'ula, on the other hand, was, the Great One, who we are supposed to thank for her wisdom. She's being actually freaking annoying.
Character Ja'ula displays traits consistent with clinical narcissism, and her tactical decisions reflect a lack of long-term strategic humility.
Yeah, she was annoying, M5. Just say she was annoying. It did not work. But even there, I respect the effort. They didn't just ignore her existence. They tried to explain why she was there and how she fit in the 25th century. It's the minimum. It failed because, humans make mistakes. Not because it was driven by a corporate Excel chart or hashtag. I gotta admit, writers are humans. They were trying to do one thing, and unfortunately, the final product was complete opposite. If you saw my Voyager Homecoming review, you know that the people who've been commenting here have been screaming for accountability. There's a lot of us who love Janeway, but let's be real, she kind of left the Delta Quadrant in a bit of a mess. The Delta Rising expansion is the perfect sequel to Voyager. It deals with the actual consequences. We see how the species Janeway interacted with have changed. We see the power vacuums she left behind with Wadwar and the Turay. It is a classic Braga move, looking back at the wreckage of the ship's journey and asking, what now? It satisfies that longing for lore-heavy analysis that televised track seems to, I don't know, have forgotten. It is comfort without being empty.
The Madwar uprising in the year 2410 resulted in a 40% shift in political power within the Delta Quadrant.
Those percentages mean people are losing their worlds. And the writers actually cared about the story and remembered that Wadwar even existed. That is what accountability looks like in a franchise. What I would really love to see next is a real nod to the Enterprise era. We have the Temporal recruits, the Deltas, the Klingon, and the Romulan recruits. But NX-01 era is just sitting there. And I would really love to see the Enterprise recruitment event that is functioning basically as a Season 5. Give us the storylines Manny Coda was planning. Give us the Romulan War. Give us the building blocks of the Federation through the eyes of a 22nd century officer. It is the only era left that hasn't been fully honored by the game's recruitment system. And I really would like to hear from you guys in the comments. If you were an NX-01 era recruit, what is the first thing you would want to fix in the timeline? Is it the Xindi conflict or the birth of Coalition? Let me know. So at the end, Star Trek Online is not perfect. Nothing in life is. It has its member berries and its lockbox gambles, and we all know the house always wins on those. But it's driven by the Star Trek world. It follows Star Trek rules. It tries to make sense of nonsense. And in 2026, that makes it the most authentic Trek we have. It's not just the game. It's the Season 8, 9, and 10 we were never supposed to see. Anyways, until the next time, M5, take us out, full impulse, and engage.
Support the organic creator, like, share and subscribe.